Hi Stampers, this is Dawn and today we're going to make the floating elf Christmas card. Isn't it cute? Let me show you the floating part. So it actually spins and it just like floats in the middle of the card. So you can just move the card and the elf just moves around. Oh my gosh, I love it. Now this is the one we're going to make today with the circle framelit. Now here's one that I made with the layering square framelits. Isn't it cute? So same idea, just floats around. Such a cute little card. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so we're going to build our card first, then we're going to focus on the floating part of the elf Christmas card. So the base, I'm using the Poppy Parade, and this is cut at 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then I'm using the Granny Apple Green. This is cut at 2 3/4 by 4. And then a piece of Whisper White, which is cut at 2.5 by 3 3/4. And then a piece of the Santa's Workshop designer paper. This is cut at 1 inch by 4 1/4. So let's go ahead and build our card first. Okay, so I'm going to show you exactly what I did when I stamped and I cut these out and then I colored them. I'm going to show you exactly what I did. I'm using the Signs of Santa stamp set. We're using this cute little elf and then the little North Pole sign. And then this also comes in a bundle with the Santa's Signpost framelits. This is a collection of 14 framelits. You can buy them together and save 10%. So I'm just going to go ahead and stamp the elf and the North Pole really quick with the Memento ink because we're going to be using the Stampin' Blends. I'm going to stamp this North Pole in the sign, so I'm going to pull it close to me so I can line that up. Fairly good. Alright, so now we're going to grab our Stampin' Blends. I'm using the Smoky Slate in the combo pack, and then the Daffodil Delight Dark. And then I'm also using the Real Red in the dark to color the North Pole sign. The Granny Apple Green combo pack. And then I'm also using the Color Lifter and then also the Ivory. Okay? So let's go ahead and start coloring our elf and our North Pole. I'm going to color the North Pole first. I'm going to use the dark Real Red. Okay, so then for my elf, I'm going to use the Granny Apple Green. I'm going to apply the light color first on the hat and the jacket. Then I'm going to take the dark of the Granny Apple Green and I'm going to highlight around the hat and then along the left-hand side of his suit. I'm going to come back in with the light and I'm going to blend the hat. I'm going to add another coat to his jacket on the right hand side. Then I'm going to take Daffodil Delight Dark and I'm coloring in the buckle. And then the Ivory will be for his face, his ears, and then don't forget his hands. Okay. And then for the rest of the sign, I'm going to use both the Smoky Slate, the light and the dark. And I'm going to apply the light around the sign because the North Pole, I want that to be visible because the Smoky Slate dark is a little bit too dark. So I'm just going to apply a light border around the sign and then also the post at the top, just around the edge. Hopefully you can see that, what I did. And I'm going to take the dark and I'm going to just go around it slightly around the edge. And then I'm going to use the color lifter. Now remember, the color lifter isn't actually removing the color, it's just moving it. So I'm just going to blend all of this together over top of the North Pole, the word, bringing in that lighter shade of that smoky slate like that. And then also bringing it over here to the post. So cute. All right, now we're going to grab our Big Shot and cut these out. So let me grab that. Here's the post. I'm going to try to cut these at the same time. Very easy with the framelits. And then I think it's this one with the elf. There's two elves in the stamp set. One facing left, which is the one I'm cutting, and then one facing right. And there's also a framelit for that one as well. So let's go ahead and cut that out. Okay. Look how cute this is. How sweet. And then here's the North Pole. Adorable. All right, now we're going to cut out the layering circles and the stitch shape circle with the, there's 3 little snowflakes in this collection. We want to cut those out too with the sparkle glimmer paper. Okay, so I'm going to cut out the circle first with the stitch shape framelits. Let me show you the one I'm going to use for that. I'm going to use the third one in from the smallest. I'm going to cut that out. I should have put my snowflakes on there. I could have cut them out as well. So let me go ahead and do that. All right, I'm going to cut out 2 of the snowflakes. I already got them mainly cut out, so I don't think there's enough room for the larger ones. So I'll just cut out the 2 smaller ones to show you what I did. But I did cut all 3 out. It's just the larger one is too big for this piece of the glimmer paper that I have left. There's the medium-sized snowflake. Isn't it cute? And then here's the smaller one. Whoop, got stuck in the paper. There's the smaller one. All right, now we're going to cut out the Poppy Parade and the scallop circle with the layering circle. So let me grab that. So I'm going to cut the scallop out. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and move the Big Shot. Okay, so then I also used the Candy Cane Season, and I used 'Tis the Sweet Season for the greeting, which I went ahead already and did that. So what I did is I just stamped it on a piece of Whisper White, and then I hand cut that out and then laid that onto the Granny Apple Green cardstock. All right, so let's grab our scallop circle and our sparkle glimmer paper circle with our North Pole and then one of our elves. And then we're going to bring in our snowflakes. I actually cut out an extra medium-sized snowflake for today's card. Okay, so first we're going to grab our 1-inch circle punch, and you're going to punch out a piece of Whisper White. This is going to be for your button that you're going to use for your little floater. And then your glimmer paper, I'm going to use the 3/4 inch circle punch. And I'm going to punch it on the right hand side of the circle, right about there. Okay, so now we're going to take our circle here and we're going to add some liquid glue. And I'm just going to put it right in the center, little dab of glue. And then I'm going to take a button, and I'm using the True Gentleman buttons. And I want a proportion size button. I don't want to put this huge button in the middle of a 1-inch square punch because there won't be much movement. A proportion size button for your floater. I want the 3/4 inch circle punch to be kind of covered up over the elf. So that's why I went with the 3/4. So if your image is larger, you can also use a larger punch. So keep that in mind as well. All right, so you're going to put your button in the middle of my, well, for mine, I'm using the 1-inch circle punch. So you're going to put your button in the center with some liquid glue, and I already have one that's dry. So I'm going to bring that one in. I'm going to set that one aside. And then this is going to go underneath your glimmer paper right here, and you want to kind of center that in the middle of your glimmer paper. So you're going to turn it over, and then we're going to add some dimensionals. So we're going to pop this up so the floating part of the elf really moves nice and freely. But you want to also keep in mind that you want to be able to move the circle a little bit so it can go around the inside of the card, okay? Hopefully that's making sense. So I'm going to put a dimensional as close as I can, but still allowing that to move. See, I wouldn't want to put a dimensional here because I want that to move down. And then going up, I'm going to move it up as far as I can go. Right about there. I'm going to put another dimensional there. This is only serving as a guide to where to put my dimensionals, that's all. Okay, so that looks actually pretty good. So there's a lot of dimensionals, but I want that to be popped up so that moves really nice and freely. Okay, so we're going to remove the backings of our dimensionals. I think that's all of them. And then we're going to take our little button here, and I'm going to put this 3/4 inch circle punch over to the right hand side. So of course I want that button to be in the center, and I also want the glimmer paper to be layered in the center of the scallop. Okay, so then you can see how this is going to move around. Can you see that button moving? Okay, so then this is what the elf is going to sit on, so you won't even see the button. So now we're going to use a dimensional. I'm going to put that dimensional right on the top of the button, and then I'm going to grab my paper piercing tool so I can hold the button down, and I'm going to peel off the backing because it might still be a little bit wet. I'm going to take my elf and put him right here. You can see how he's going to spin around, float around. I love it. And I'm going to take our North Pole, and I'm going to also use some liquid glue for that. Now this is going to go over to the left hand side of my elf like that. So I only want to put the glue on the bottom part of the sign because the other part's going to hang off the circle a little bit. Of course you don't want that sign to interfere with the floating elf. I'm just going to put that right about there. Isn't it cute? Then we're going to turn this over. We're going to put some more dimensionals. Okay, let's bring in our card. I'll put this. Now I'm using the North Pole as my focal point as far as keeping the circle straight up and down of the card, because the elf is moving around, so I definitely want the elf to be able to move around, but I want the North Pole to be straight. And then we're going to take our 'Tis the Sweet Season. I'll put this at the bottom. And then we're going to add our little snowflakes. Now we're going to add some mini dimensionals to these, at least the two larger sizes. So I'm going to take the 2 medium and a large. I'm going to put a mini dimensional on the back side of those. They fit perfect. Okay, so I just put some snail. I'll put that one right there. I'm going to put this one along here too, as far as over here. Isn't that cute? And there's our floating elf Christmas card. Oh my gosh. All right, let me show you the other ones. Okay, so here's the other circle one. And then this is the square one that we made in the glitter pit yesterday. And then I also have a totally different one that's going horizontal in the garden green as the base of the card. So you might want to check out my blog and see that one because it's totally a different layout, but it's the same idea of the card. So check out my blog for that. And then I'll have all the items listed below. And then don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss any future videos. Okay, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you later. Bye.